I absolutely love that astrology has become mainstream right now. People know their sun sign, their moon sign, even their rising sign, and they're starting to implement astrology into their everyday lives, which I love that for us, right? And so naturally, it follows that people want to know about their natal chart. Now, the natal chart can be an endless rabbit hole of signs, symbols, numbers, lines. Like it's a lot, right? And so typically, when it comes to when to get a reading, people let their curiosity dictate that, right? They're like, I want to know what this is. Let me get a reading. I want to know what that is. Maybe I should get a reading. But if I'm being honest, curiosity is not the best reason to get a natal chart reading. And it shouldn't be the driving force as to when you get a reading either. There are some very specific times when you should get a reading, and this video is going to discuss those times. So if you're curious, allow your curiosity to guide you to watch the rest of this video, all right? So let's get into it. So before we get into the times when you should get a reading and even the times when you shouldn't, I want to preface this video by saying that a reading should empower you. And I think I may do a separate video on like what you should expect or anticipate in a natal chart reading. But a reading is not meant for you to outsource your power or have someone dictate every detail of your life. A natal chart reading isn't a crystal ball and it's like fortune telling. At least it shouldn't be. And it isn't, in my opinion, and how I conduct my readings, right? Ultimately, astrology is pattern recognition, and a reading should help you understand the patterns, the timing, and the choices within your life in sort of a larger context. It sort of gives meaning and structure to the things that are happening in your life based on how you are designed. Okay. A good natal chart reading shouldn't make you more dependent. It should make you more self aware. It should empower you to know yourself rather than constantly going to someone to tell you who you are. And just side note, that's how I definitely structure my readings. I want to give you all the information so you can start to learn it, understand it, and implement it yourself rather than feeling the need to have me dictate it to you all the time. All right. The point isn't to just hand your power away, the point is to gain perspective. So I want to preface that before we get into when to get a reading. So you go into a reading understanding sort of the purpose and not just allowing someone to tell you who you are, when you should do things, and having you be dependent on them. So now let's get into it. So I'm going to be giving you 5 times when you should be getting a reading and one time when perhaps it's not the best time to get a reading. So, number one, when you are at a crossroads in life. So maybe you're at a point in life where you've got a big decision to make. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's whether to stay in a relationship. Maybe it's time to take a relationship to a next level. Maybe you are moving. Maybe you are trying to expand your family, right? When you are at a crossroads, a reading can be extremely helpful because it can help you understand what season you're in. Now, don't get it twisted. You shouldn't allow someone to make a decision for you. They can tell you what season you're in, kind of what's going on, give you a lay of the land so that you can make an informed decision. That's how the reading should really go. But when you're at a crossroads and you're just like, should I go this way? Should I go that way? Is this going to make sense? A reading, an astrological reading, can really show you the bigger picture and the season of life that you are in so that you can make an informed decision. I think that one's pretty obvious. So, number two, when things are changing and you don't know why or you don't understand what is going on. So, oftentimes in life, we feel like circumstances are changing around us, our lives are shifting, and we have no idea why. We're like, I don't understand this change. Oftentimes we set goals and sometimes the opposite happens, right? And we're like, why is this happening? Or maybe your perspective about life, about a situation is starting to change and you really have no idea why. One day you felt like you believed in this. Now all of a sudden you don't believe in that anymore. You believe in this thing, right? A reading can really help you understand what is causing those changes and the bigger picture surrounding those changes. So it gives you clarity, right? And that is I know that that is how I gravitated toward astrology to begin with, because things in my life were crazy. Things in my life were going completely left, and astrology helped me understand why those changes were happening and the bigger picture of what was going on and perhaps what could continue to go on. What themes are present in my life at that time? And that clarity is everything, because while you may not be able to stop the changes, while you may not be able to, I don't want to say manipulate the situation, but change the situation that's currently happening, understanding why and understanding how you are designed can really help give you clarity, which is ultimately what you're searching for, right? Especially if that's where you're at in life at the moment. The next best time to get a reading, this is number 3, is when you notice a repeating pattern in your life. Now, this typically comes up in the relationship sector where you keep attracting the same partner, you keep attracting the same friends. It's like you're on this merry-go-round and you've gotten to the point where you realize you're on the merry-go-round. Before you get to that realization, it may not be the best time to get a reading because you haven't recognized the pattern yet. But once you recognize it, you kind of can't unsee it. And sometimes being able to sort of dissect that pattern can be a little challenging. And so a reading is really great for that because it can show you the different patterns. It can show you how you've been repeating the same thing, why you keep attracting the same people. It gives you perspective. Much like the one I just talked about before, it gives you clarity. So it helps you understand, oh, this is the pattern. This is why this keeps happening. So now you can break it. And once you break the pattern, now you can have a different experience. So that pattern recognition, when you want to get off the merry-go-round, that is one of the best times to get an astrological reading. Now, fourth time, or should I say number 4, in terms of the best time to get a reading is when you are entering a new chapter. Now, I love this because the other times that I just talked about, it's like you're in the midst of something and you want to understand it. This is about you being proactive. You're like, okay, I'm entering a new chapter. Perhaps I want to do things differently, or I want to get a lay of the land. And so I want a reading to show me what's what, to show me what it would look like if I'm starting a business right now, if I decide to get married, if I decide to move, right? It's not about making a decision, right? That was number 1 when you're at a crossroads. This is like you've made the decision and now it's about moving forward. So a reading can show you not only what chapter you're in, but what themes may be presented as you start this new chapter. So again, clarity, it's super valuable. And don't get it twisted. A reading is can be really dense. And oftentimes when I do readings, I get kind of nervous because I don't want to overload you with information. But the information that you can get from your natal chart and then you put transits on top of it, oh my gosh, you could write an anthology on the amount of information that you can glean from that. However, a good reading will also keep things streamlined. So you should definitely come with questions. You should definitely sort of outline the trajectory that you're on so that the reading can stay on pace instead of giving you all of this tangential information. But I digress. But again, if you're starting a new chapter, understanding the lay of the land, understanding what you could be met up with, whether it's obstacles, whether it's opportunities, a reading is perfect for that time. And then building on that, number 5, best time to get a reading is when you're actually ready to start implementing the information that you've gained, perhaps from the other times that you've gotten a reading, right? This is kind of maturity, right? This is not, I'm just curious about my chart. This is like, okay, I'm ready to make a move. I'm ready to start acting differently. I'm ready to experience new things in my life. When you're ready to delve deeper into shadow work, when you're ready to show up differently in relationships, when you're ready to work and be productive more intentionally, when you're ready to make different choices, this is a great time to get a reading because you've kind of already done the heavy lifting. You've kind of already gained the information. Now it's time to implement it. And a reading can really be instrumental in helping you create new habits, make better decisions, and move with intentionality. All right. So those are the 5 times when it is best to get a reading. So let's talk about when it is not the best time to get a reading. I guess the best way I can describe it is when you don't have agency over your own life. And how this can look is you want people to make decisions for you. You want people to do the work for you. You want the information, but you're not really ready to implement it. You're coming from a place of, I like to call it shits and giggles. Now, this goes back to being curious about your natal chart. There's nothing wrong with being curious about your natal chart. But if you're viewing this as just like entertainment or like, oh, it's not that serious, I'll say personally, I'm not the reader for you because my readings and how I structure my business is all about empowering you with information about yourself to help you be more self aware and to have more agency within yourself, right? But if you're not willing to integrate any of that information, if you just want people to make decisions for you, it's that's reading probably isn't for you. And I'm not saying that with any shade or anything. It's just the truth because the information you gain from your natal chart specifically is it's your blueprint. That's why I call my natal chart experience the blueprint because it is you. It is you mapped out spiritually and practically. And when you have that information, it unlocks the key to everything that is you. Oftentimes, it's like we have blinders on in life, or we're just on autopilot and we're just doing things to do them. Maybe because everyone else is doing them. Maybe because people told us we had to do things a certain way. But understanding how you're designed is everything. And when you use that information constructively and intentionally, life starts to make sense, which is half the battle. Because oftentimes, again, it's like we're asleep at the wheel. And an astrology reading, particularly a natal chart reading, can really open your eyes and can help you drive in the direction of your desires. I love that. I love that for us. So, bottom line, a reading should support your discernment, not replace it. And if you feel overly reliant on someone else or on external factors, then it's probably not the best time to get a reading. All right. And of course, speaking of readings, maybe you're a little curious, or maybe you're at a crossroads in life. Maybe you're at the precipice of a new chapter and you want all the information that you need to make it successful, then you would definitely want to sign up for my signature natal chart experience, which is the blueprint. Now, this is not a regular reading. This is actually a very specific framework that is specific and unique to me and how I work. It's essentially 3 readings in one. It's a natal chart reading, it's a progressed natal chart reading, and it's a transit report. So essentially, you understand how you're designed, what chapter in life you're in, and what themes are present right now so that you can understand what's going on and make the best decisions for your life. This is a whole thing. And it's not just a one and done kind of thing. You get a personalized almanac where you can track the transits with respect with what's going to your life. You get ongoing support. Like it is an experience, not just a reading. So if this has piqued your curiosity and your interest and you would like to know more, the first step would be to book a free 15-minute clarity call with me so that we can unpack the service, unpack your needs, and see if this reading is right for you. And if you're interested, you can book a clarity call via the link in the description box below. But if you know that this is for you and you want to get started ASAP, the link to get on my schedule to book the blueprint is also in the description box below. Now, let's say you're not ready for all of that because I'm not going to lie to you, my service isn't cheap. It's not cheap. It's not meant to be cheap, and it is chock full of information. All right. So maybe you're not quite there yet. Well, if you kind of want a taste or a preview of how I work, I'm doing a workshop on April 9th, and it's all about your chart ruler. Now, a chart ruler is the guiding planet within your natal chart, and I'll explain more of that in the workshop. But we'll help discover your chart ruler, but I will also give you 3 practical steps that you can use in real time, in real life, to make the most of your chart ruler. It's a quick 1 hour workshop. It's a great preview of how I work. So if you're interested in that, the link to sign up for that is in the description box below. All right. So hopefully this video made sense in terms of when to get a reading and perhaps when not to get a reading. Now, again, I don't want to knock anyone who's just curious. Curiosity opens the door to a lot of things, but if you're really ready to really take advantage of how wonderful astrology is in terms of how it can change your life and how it can make life make more sense, then heed the advice in this video and get a reading when it is the right time. All right, my loves. That's all I pretty much got for you for this video. So thank you so much for tuning in. I sincerely hope that this was informative. And if it was, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and set notifications so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, my loves. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.